Joining us for a while, one of our favorite guys, smartest guys for sure, is political analyst Scott Hughes. Welcome back to KEEL, amigo. How are you today?
Good morning. Feeling great.
Take it away. You've got great questions.
Mayoral forum last night. First one. There were the five candidates were there. First impressions, I guess, that you get. You watched it, I assume.
I watched most of it, yeah.
Okay. First impressions.
First impressions, it was a get-to-know-you type forum. It
Okay.
was, the format wasn't very exciting. The questions were kind of vanilla, but considering that we got 3+ months to do this, it was probably a good coming-out party.
Okay.
There were no losers. I'll go with that. I don't think anybody hurt themselves. I think that my initial takeaways, and I did watch it with a few millennials, because
Right.
that was the target audience, and I asked them afterwards. They felt that Perkins did very well. They felt that Jackson did very well. They felt that Ollie was probably third just because she escaped with no damage. I mean, you kind of go in thinking she might get attacked, and she really didn't.
Did you go in person or were you watching it online?
We watched online.
Okay.
And the first part really wasn't available. It came
Sure.
on, but it was pretty good video.
Okay.
Erin and I have discussed at some length, you said you heard the segment previous. Erin and I have discussed at some length the different issues that pertain to different demographics. You said this was that forum yesterday put on by Heliopolis and another group. You said it was aimed at millennials. What do you think the number one issue for, let's say, folks under 30 in this mayoral election are, or around that millennial demographic?
And my gut is if you're under 30, you probably have two. Number one's jobs, because I think that, what's going to keep me here? That's number one. Why do I stay in Shreveport? That's a job. Very closely related to that is quality of life. A lot of millennials, they're not really into their career yet, but quality of life can make a big difference. And so other things finished second, and you saw that last night. You saw. I didn't mention earlier there were 5 candidates at the forum. I think John Paul Young was another winner because most folks had never seen him before.
Sure.
And he comes across as highly intelligent. He comes across as maybe a little out there with his ideas,
Right.
definitely out of the box thinking, but probably was attractive. It was a good forum for him because the millennial audience.
That's his crowd.
That's
yeah.
his crowd. And then fifth, Lee Savage, probably struggled in that format. That's not his crowd.
Right.
And so, but the other thing that my big takeaway of that was there's 10 candidates. We only saw 5.
Right.
It's going to be a long mayoral season
Yeah.
if those 5. But millennials came away thinking about what's going to keep me in Shreveport. Do I want to live in Shreveport? I think that's their question.
You told us the last time when I asked you about how much attacking they're going to do on Mayor Tyler, and you said it's going to be about who does that the best. We didn't see a whole lot of direct attack. Are you thinking they're warming up to that?
This is July. The election, the last I checked, is in November.
Right.
And so we have 3 full months. We are out the gate. Like I say, I think we're going to see a round of this. I think we're going to see a feeling out period where people want to introduce themselves. And that's what yesterday's forum was very, very good. I think if you look at, I think it was wise, because I think if you look at numbers, millennials aren't into negative attacking. Millennials have this view of the world that it can be better. It's a nice place. We want to improve it. And so negative campaigning is not going to work with the young crowd. They want to know what your ideas are. So yesterday was probably a pretty good forum for that.
Did you see her as defensive? I saw her a little bit defensive.
She was slightly defensive. There was a police question or two, but really, for the most part, it was a good forum for the mayor. She didn't get directly attacked, and she played incumbent. She got to answer every time she got to answer questions. She got to say, and she likes the term "we." She got to say, "We did this. We did this. We did this," and that's standard incumbent. Tell people what you've done. You come across looking very knowledgeable, very intelligent, because you know city government. I think one of the things that came out over the constant questioning is a lot of the candidates don't know city government. They don't. There was a lot of we're going to hire this, we're going to buy that, we're going to build this, and that may show a lack of understanding of where the city is financially today.
Down the line, just sort of piggybacking with what Erin had said about attacking the mayor. Do you think they can really get away with that? Do you think there's a line that male candidates can't cross with Ms. Tyler? At what can it get to a point where they appear like they're attacking the woman? And is it in Ollie's DNA to throw the Hillary card back at them? You're just a bunch of sexists attacking me, a female.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I think it's worth remembering. Ollie was the superintendent of schools for a number of years and through a very contentious period. She certainly didn't have what you would deem a friendly school board when she was there. So she is used to standing in public and defending herself. If you go back to the school board years, I think the school board members that were not in Ollie's camp when she was superintendent did a good job of attacking policy, attacking results, attacking personnel moves, attacking construction projects. And I think there's a big difference of attacking the candidate, i.e. in national politics, and what we saw in the last national debate, attacking character. I don't think anyone's going to attack Ollie's character. But if they go after her politics, and it will come around, I think what we're going to see is we have so much time, and that we'll probably see forums that get very specific. When we get down to having a forum on crime itself, that's the only topic, and the 6 or 7 questions are just crime, I think you will see them get deeper into what has she done. And so attacking her as a person, no, but attacking her politics, that's going to come.
Is it, are we going to be exhausted? Are we starting too early? Is this, or do you think we're going to have, since qualifying just wrapped up, well, we're going to have a few forums early, then it's going to kind of calm down for a little bit until the last, say, 45 to 60 days? Because it's 100 days away.
Well, my other big takeaway as I watched last night, I had flashbacks to the Republican process for president a couple years ago. If you remember, we used to have we had the varsity debate and the JV debate.
Yeah, you had the kids table.
And I kept looking, thinking, there's only 5 of them there. We've got 3 months to go. I'm afraid we may delve into that. You're never going to have all 10 together, probably. That's almost impossible. So do we get the kids' table? Do we get the rounds where the people in the lesser debate are trying to swing for the fences to get to the big table? And then once you get to the big table, what do you say to get the headline?
So that's a good question. So how do the John Paul Youngs, how do the Tremekius Dixons, how do the I don't want to say second-tier candidates, but you know what I mean. What do those candidates have to do to be taken, I don't want to say seriously, but to take the step up to the big girl table?
And I think that's the big challenge in this one. They're going to have to do something to get attention. Like I said, I think last night was a good forum for John Paul Young. It was a good venue. He was definitely, I think, a winner because most folks had never seen him before. But we have 4 other candidates that I believe most folks in town have never seen. And so they're going to have to, A, get on the stage, or they have to raise money or get the awareness. And it's going to be a high challenge.
After that debate, on each of those guys, if you were running their campaign and they said, what could I have done better? Let's start with Adrian.
I think Adrian did about as well a job as he could do last night because his role last night was to introduce himself. A lot of folks in town, despite that he may be one of the front runners, quote unquote, you can't see quotes on the radio.
Sure.
But he's not known to a lot of folks. So he was trying to get through introducing. He did a good job. I think he came across as very competent. I think his problem was sitting next to him. And that's Stephen Jackson.
Right. What could he have done better?
I think Stephen Jackson probably could have gone a little harder in his government background. He was several times very strong when he talked about having worked in the mayor's office before, having worked in the legislature before. And so I think Jackson he's Adrian Perkins' very similar, style of campaign. It's just he's been here in town doing it. And so you have an outsider and an insider. And I think both of them did very, very well. I think that they may be battling for one of the spots, or they could get both spots.
Savage have a weak spot, did you see?
I think Savage, wasn't his venue, so we'll say that. He'll do much better in different audiences. But I think Savage, he looked the least comfortable last night. I think Savage is the most comfortable if he's wearing a T-shirt out picking up trash or talking to people in neighborhoods or knocking on doors. Putting on the coat and tie, I think, made him look a little uncomfortable. I think, the public speaking aspect may be an issue for him, but he was solid.
And Tyler, real quick?
Tyler looked mayoral. That's her job. Look mayoral, deflect any negativity. She did a good job.
Okay. And real quick, John Paul.
I think John Paul, he put himself on the radar. I don't think he's going to be a major player in the end. I think he's running to promote an idea, his idea, sustainable food and livable community, and I think that's going to be his goal this campaign.